Welcome to Living with. I'm your host, Katrina Smith, and on today's show, I'll be talking to Thomas Domsic. Hello, Thomas.
Hey, how are you?
I'm fine. How are you?
Good.
That's great. Do you mind if I ask you some questions?
Sure, go ahead.
Okay. What do you do for a living?
Right now, I am not working anywhere. For the last couple of years, I have not worked, but this year, especially, I've been doing a lot of cerebral palsy advocacy and just raising awareness. Prior to the last couple of years, I used to work at a auto salvage yard doing like customer service and being like a parts professional. I did that for about 5 years.
Okay. What age were you diagnosed with cerebral palsy?
At 2 years old.
Okay. Can you explain what cerebral palsy is and what were the symptoms?
Basically, in simple terms, I would say it's basically your brain telling your nerves to do something that basically in the opposite way it's supposed to, or basically like I would say that people with cerebral palsy are wired differently, and they're not, our brain isn't connecting to the proper nerves to the that they should, and the right muscles and stuff to function.
Okay. Can you explain what cerebral palsy is and what type of physical therapy you do?
Say that one more time, please.
Can you explain what type of cerebral palsy you have and what type of physical therapy you do?
Well, my cerebral palsy affects my legs, both of my legs. And I'd say mine is more mild. I can stand up on my own, but as far as like walking, I use a walker or I use my forearm crutches. For physical therapy, I go about, and it's about once a week right now that I go, and I do a lot of different leg exercises and stretches and stuff like that.
What was it like growing up and going to school?
School wasn't terribly bad. I'll say as I was younger, the kids were more curious, which is understandable because no one knows what cerebral palsy is, and being, I guess, different to someone else's eyes. And I got made fun of some as a kid, some through middle school, but high school wasn't as bad. There was occasional people, but as I got older, I got to be able to stand up for myself a lot more. So I didn't really get a lot of people making fun of me or whatever, just because I stood my ground more and stood up for myself. But even today, just being out of school, there's occasional people that will make a comment or something or whatever, but then again, I will stand up for myself and do the right thing.
Mm-hmm. Did you play any sports in school?
Not in high school. I did not play any sports. As a kid, just being on the playground and stuff, whatever, like we would play, basketball and stuff, whatever, but I never felt like actual sports in school. I never felt a part of anything, so I never joined anything because I don't know, I felt like I was rejected from those things or not welcome and that type of stuff, like playing basketball or anything. Like I never felt like I was welcome into that sort of thing.
Hey, do you have any hobbies?
I really love to work on cars. Cars are a lot of fun to work on. I do that a lot. I like to paint and do creative stuff like that. Those are probably my main things I like to do.
Okay. When it comes to sports, what sports do you like and what are your favorite teams?
I don't watch a lot of sports right now, but I would have to say like my top sports to watch would be like baseball would be like my top sport to watch. When I was younger, I was more into other things. I occasionally I'll watch football or something, um, but my teams would be anything Chicago. Like I like the Chicago White Sox, the Bears, and then I guess you could say the Bulls too.
There you go. I was waiting for that.
Yeah.
When did you start advocating for cerebral palsy?
Probably in my younger 20s, I started, and I've done it through the years. Like I said earlier, these last couple of years, I've done it a lot more. I just had more time and stuff or whatever. But this year, especially, and especially this month being Cerebral Palsy Awareness Month, I've done a lot of stuff. I've painted different buildings for cerebral palsy awareness and like their windows. I've gotten lights lit up in different places. A friend of mine and we got the oldest town in Chicago lit up green, and the bridge and the downtown area over by me lit up. And so been just trying to get a lot of awareness done.
Awesome. What type of therapy do you do? Like besides physical therapy, do you do any other type of therapy to help with your CP?
Not so much. There's not really anything else that I do as far as like therapy. I'd say to help out. I don't have any really other therapy. I do try to stay active myself. Like I don't have like a big exercise routine, but I try to stay active and uh, I try to walk every day, walk around and stretch, and I will typically do some exercises throughout the week and stuff, or whatever. So I try, like I said, I just try to stay active.
All right. How does your CP affect your everyday life?
It really varies. It depends on the day. There's some days where it's completely, it's harder, and some days are easier. It just really depends. Some of the harder days are when it's in the wintertime when it's cold outside, and I think a lot of people can relate on that. But like my body just gets really stiff, especially my legs in the wintertime. I always compare it to the Tin Man, and we call it Tin Man season. Okay. But yeah, as far as that, summertime isn't as bad, but there's some days where it's raining outside or something, and my legs could be stiff. So then I'm kind of more stranded, and it's harder to get around where I don't feel comfortable like getting in my car and taking a drive or anything.
Okay. What helps you stay motivated when you're frustrated?
Just looking at the positive outcome. Things can be negative, but there's always a positive that you can look out from it, whatever. And just always keep that attitude of never give up, and always move forward. Especially the never give up part. That's one thing that I've always been big on, and I have a tattoo that says that, and it reminds me that of every day. But that's one thing is like no matter what comes your way, you just gotta keep pushing forward and never give up.
Mm-hmm. Do you have a support group like family and friends?
Yeah, I would have to say there's a pretty big support group. It's nice on the, I have a lot of family support, I would say, but definitely friends as far as like the cerebral palsy part goes and whatever. And that's what's nice about Facebook is there's a lot of groups on there that, for cerebral palsy that you could go and check out. And it's nice because everybody relates to the same similar things or whatever and ask questions. And so it's nice to have that sort of community.
Right. What is the most misconception about your disability?
I would have to say people think that because I have CP that I can't do certain things. So I would have to say like their eyes and that I can't do something, but in my eyes I can do something, and I will prove them wrong. I will show them that I can do something or whatever.
Right. What are some obstacles you have faced, and what were some strategies you used to overcome them?
Probably some of the obstacles as I got older, I had to start using a walker. As a kid and being a teenager, even my younger 20s, I didn't use a walker. I was just able to get around without something. And I had to adapt to that because as I got older, it got harder to keep my balance and stuff. So then I started using a walker, and that was something I had to adapt to as far as walking with that, but also just getting around in different areas and, putting a walker in my car and then walking through the snow or walking up a hill or, those type of things.
Okay. Can you share with our viewers other support groups that you have found outside of family and friends and you have sought help from?
Like I said, there's a bunch on Facebook that you go check out. There's just a whole wide range of different support groups that you could check out. The biggest thing that I suggest is typing in cerebral palsy support groups, and you'll find bunches and bunches. I can't even name them all, but there's like Living with Cerebral Palsy is a good one. There's a bunch of other ones that are really good to check out.
Okay. How have these support groups helped you?
It's just, like I said, it's nice to have common people that know of like the same thing that you're going through to talk to and could relate on things. And, you could ask questions and that person might have a good suggestion because, they have the same type of problems or whatever that you do, and they have a solution to it compared to where that you wouldn't, or vice versa.
How would how would you motivate others to come out about their disability?
Don't be scared to come out. Just keep on being yourself and whatever. In all reality, regardless of having CP or anything, everybody is built different. We're all built different. We're different shapes, forms, colors, abilities, whatever. We're all built different. So don't let yourself hold backward. Just keep on being yourself and, and show awareness for cerebral palsy. That's one of the biggest things too is, just keep being you.
Exactly. Excuse me. Do you have anything you would like to say to our viewers?
Not really any more than what I've already said, but I guess the basic thing is like, just keep pushing forward and just keep being you, and don't be afraid to reach out to other people. There's tons of us out here that all go through the same similar stuff, and we're all a big community, and that's what we're here for.
Right. Thank you for sharing your story with us. That's all the time that I have for you today, and have a great day.
You too. Thank you.
You're welcome. Bye.